Okay, I'm so extremely excited about this Zoom. Sammy and Candice have agreed to come on and do a leadership Zoom and kind of talk about their journey along the way of going to ambassador. And I know it wasn't just rainbows and unicorns, and we're going to kind of get real with one another today and talk about kind of what leadership looks like from the front. And those expectations of being a leader are sometimes not so much fun. But just being that leader for your team and knowing truly what that leadership means for your team, the struggles along the way. And, let me just say this really quick before you guys get started. Candice and Samantha, you two are beautiful. Not only are you physically beautiful, I mean stunningly beautiful, both of you. You are beautiful from the inside. And that to me is like gold. And so I truly appreciate both of you. And I want to say to everybody on this Zoom, as leaders, we need to make sure that we are surrounding ourselves with people just like you two. There are great people in the world and there are not so great people in the world. And you definitely need to surround yourself with greatness to be able to lift you up, to be able to help you on your journey, because this journey you can do alone, but it's really tough. Candice and Samantha are the ones that you definitely need to make sure that you are following on Facebook. And they're just amazing. I don't even have the words to say for it, but I truly adore both of you. And I thank you so much for coming on and giving us all your amazing tips and your journeys and your struggles along the way. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take over. And so tell me just who wants to start, Sammy or Candice?
I guess I'll start.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm Samantha Lopez, and I joined the business 3 years ago, and it's been so life-changing. I know when I first started, I have been praying for something. We were just at a place in our lives where we were so broke. We moved from Texas to California to do ministry school here, kind of gave everything up, for Jesus. That's like what you're supposed to do, right? And, but we were struggling so much. I mean, we were on food stamps, on WIC, and just barely making it, but God always provides, and he always met our needs. And so about 3 years after moving here, my husband told me, hey, I want to go to school too. Because I was the one that did school. He was working, I did school. So he said, I want to go to school too. And I said, okay. And I really wanted to be able for him to do that. It was amazing. But I was home with our 7-month-old, and my twins were 8. And so I knew that I was going to have to go and get a job to make that happen. And because he was the one working. And I don't have a college degree. So I'm thinking, okay, I can go be like a waitress or work at a store or something. And I'm going to have to leave my baby just to go do that. And that's lame. And so I started praying. And I was just praying for something. I remember like Googling like those legit work from home jobs and stuff like that. And every time, though, I saw something that had to do with sales, I was like, no. And so then one day I see my friend from my church back home posting before and after pictures. And I'm just like, oh, my gosh, I want to use these things. Like, oh, my gosh. And I remember seeing somebody that had my stomach and didn't anymore. And I wanted to use them. So she gave me the prices, but even then, like, we couldn't afford $59. So I just said, okay, I'm going to have to wait till my income tax money gets in. That's whenever we had free money. It was income tax money. And she said, Sam, you should do this business with me. And I'm like, no. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, hell no. Like, I don't do these kinds of things. And I'm very shy. I'm a very introverted person. And by then, I don't know if any of you are like me, but I had a baby. And when I have babies, I kind of just like, I'm isolated. Like, I'm just home with babies, and I didn't have friends. And, and so I was like, I don't know how this would work out at all. So, but I had been praying. And so I knew it was God, because I just really knew in my heart, I felt him saying, you've been praying for something and you didn't ask if this is what I have for you. And how many times do we do that? We pray for something and then God comes with the answer, but we're like, it didn't look like what we thought it was going to look like. So we say no. So I was so convicted. And so we took time. I got all the details from her because I wanted to be sure we weren't like suckered into anything. And so got all the details. We prayed about it, and we just felt like we were supposed to jump in, and we did. And I remember we got our wraps, and my husband lost 5 inches and I bloated 3. You guys ever bloat? Like, yeah. And so I was like, what? But then I remembered on our Facebook page, Lori Conway said she bloated. And I was like, okay, if she's at the top of the business and she bloats, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay. So yeah. Of course, we all know the bloating goes down. So I ended up getting results after 3 days. They were amazing. And so from that day forward, we were just all in. And it wasn't easy. Like, my mom was my 4th customer on day 30. I was like, please, Mom, order something. Like, I want my 120 product credit. And I got a couple of girls to sell with me right away. But the next month they both quit. And I was just so disheartened. I would not have gotten the Ruby bonus if it was around at that time, just because then I was charted, but had people quit. And so that's kind of what happened. And so it was kind of a slow start for me. And then I remember the 2 girls that I had under me both hit Ruby before me. So I was executive. They were both Ruby. And I was like, I'm so excited for you, but I must be really lame. And you start to question yourself. Right. Like, yeah. Well, yeah, you do. You question yourself. Like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this is just for awesome people like them, but not for me. But I just remember saying, no, I prayed about this and God said to do it. And he was going to support us and back us up. So I'm going to keep going. And my sister Candice, she was one of the first people that I was like, because she is bold. She's extroverted. Like, she's just amazing. And I knew that if she did this, she would go to the top. Like, I knew that from day one. And so I remember asking her, and she'll tell you her side of it too. But I remember right away, she was just like, no, good luck with that. And I'm just like, okay. So none of my sisters even became loyal customers, like, for ages. But that was okay. I just kept going. I thought they're going to want to. I'm going to prove to them that this could work.
I love that you said that. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, because, I was I'm going to prove it to them, and then they're going to want to join me. Like, that was my goal. And so,
and I think this was so often, just to add in, like, so many people let that be the first turn of discouragement. Like, my family won't even support me. And I honestly think all of us here as leaders can say we've seen people in our business quit because their family didn't support them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And so I just figured I'm going to prove them wrong, and they're going to want to join me, and they're going to see that these things are amazing. And so I just kept trudging along. I remember there would be moments, I know you guys have all felt it, where I would be posting on Facebook every day, and like 3 people would like it, and they were all other distributors. And that was it. And I was like, I feel like I'm just wasting my time. Like, I'm doing the stuff. Like, and Lori, you were kind of the person that Lori said to do it, and I'm doing it, and it's not working. And so, but I remember then one day, it was just such a God thing. Like, right when I complained to my husband about, it's a waste of time, maybe I should stop posting, someone came up, messaged me that had never liked or commented on any of my posts. And she said, hey, I've been watching you for months. What the heck is this thing? And I was like, oh, so there is something to this posting,
Right.
People are watching. And yeah, so I still faithfully post multiple times a day, every day. And I tell my team, whether you think nobody's liking or commenting, they are watching you.
Right.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I just kept trudging along. I think it was my 4th month. I ended up going from Ruby to for executive to Emerald. I skipped Ruby, and I was so excited because Ruby was my goal. And so to be able to skip it and go Emerald was like, oh my gosh,
Right.
And we actually had like a big paycheck, and it was just so amazing. And then at month 6, that's when Mark brought back the good bonuses. And so month 6, I was so close to Diamond. I was like, I'm going to make this happen. I worked harder than ever, and I got it. I got Diamond. I got the $10,000 bonus.
That's when I sat down with you, right?
So I had one of my Rubies actually completely quit. Just decided it wasn't for her, even though she was getting paid as a Ruby. And I'm like, what? Like, I want to be Ruby, and it happened.
Like, give me that paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Totally get it.
But then that's when Candy actually joined. So I remember Candy, all her friends were ordering from me as customers. And I was like, this is awesome. But Candy, hello, like, they could be ordering from you. And So finally, I remember when the good bonuses were about to end, I said, Candy, today's the last day. You can get this bonus. Like, sign up.
Which I'm going to call you out on that because I think that you lied to me because I joined like July 23rd. Like, they didn't end a good bonus on that day. So you do have sales skill.
They did.
I love that sisters can do this together and tell each other what to do and then call each other out on it.
Right?
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
So she joined.
Yeah, so for real quick, just so I can get a timeline here, you said you wouldn't have gotten the Ruby bonus if it would have been available. How long did it take you to go? You skipped over Ruby. It took you 4 months or so to go Emerald, another 4 months?
It was about 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
I was executive and then I jumped. So,
okay. And so when did you jump to Diamond? Tell us a little bit about that.
Month 6. Yeah, month 6 was when I jumped to Diamond. So I had my Ruby. She completely quit. Everybody under her quit. And then Candy joined. And I knew she was going to be a runner. She's amazing. And so she ended up becoming, I think you were my Ruby and then I had an Emerald. So then that's when I went to Diamond. So that was so life-changing. That was month 6. It was the month before my husband was going to start school. And I kind of had told I know we're not supposed to give each other, or give timelines of if I'm not making money by this day, but my husband was going to start school in September. So I kind of told myself, well, if I'm not making money by August, I'm going to have to get a real job. So I really wanted to make money by August. And August, I hit Diamond.
Well, pressure is on. I think you put the pressure on. I think they say that diamonds are made under pressure, right? And they are. And totally. You put yourself under pressure, you actually get things done. I love that. And if you could say also, for some of these gals that are on here tonight or today, this morning, they're brand new diamonds. Is this a time for them to kind of lay back and collect a check? Or as a diamond, what do you do now? Like, you're obviously ambassador diamond, so you didn't quit at Diamond. Did you ever feel like you felt like you had arrived, or what made you want to go further to ambassador?
I wanted a bigger paycheck. So I loved my Diamond paycheck. And so I hit Diamond and we got off of our food stamps, and my husband started school and he was able to cut his hours at work, and we got off WIC. And if you guys have ever been on food stamps or WIC, like, I'm so grateful for that, but I wanted to be able to feed my own kids, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to add something to that because I love sharing your testimony, Sammy, because I think a lot of us have already encountered people who fear getting off of food stamps and like, what if I make too much and then I lose it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like, you can't cage that mind, like that's a caged mindset. Like, you know what I mean? So I love that you share that because that's obviously like, dreaming beyond, like that's a limitation if that's where, a lot of people are held back by.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I love that you said that because I can't tell you how many people that have looked at the opportunity. They're like, I'm on disability or I have some kind of a support and I don't want to push any further. I don't want a possibility of making too much money, which sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were ready to be financially independent. We didn't want to have to live off of the government or off of family. Like, we wanted to be independent and not have to. It's hard. It's hard. So, we hit Diamond and I just kept running. I was so excited. I mean, this huge paycheck changed our lives. And I knew that if I was praying for something like this, and I'm so glad that Rachel talked to me about it and she was persistent because she's like, can I call you? I don't like to be on the phone, just if anybody's curious. I really don't. And so she's like, can I call you? And I'm like, no. And then she would, and I was stuck, and so she was very persistent, and I'm so grateful. And, there are people out there that are praying for this, that it's going to change their lives. And if we don't reach out to them and if we're not persistent, they're going to stay stuck where they are. So I feel like it was almost a little bit humbling because I feel like now I have a responsibility. Like, this changed my life so much, and I was praying for this and it was the answer to prayer. So now it's my responsibility to go and take it to other people that are praying out and crying out for this thing. And so, we kept running. I probably built my business 90% from my computer, Facebook for sure, and kept running. And so I actually hit double Diamond in October. And that was, oh my gosh, it was, wow, biggest paycheck we'd ever seen. And we kind of made the decision that my husband would just stop going to work, because by now I'm making like 3 or 4 times more than he used to make. And we were never seeing him because he'd go from work to school, and then it was night. And so we just decided, you don't have to work. Let's just focus on, you go to school and then be with our kids, and it was the best choice we ever made. And he's never gone back to work since.
Wow. And that was like, what year?
2013.
Okay. So in 13, he quit his job as a double diamond. You were a double diamond.
Yeah.
Was he in the business at all at that time?
I'm sorry?
Was he in the business at all at that time?
No, I signed him up, but he was still like distributor level. So yeah.
Yeah.
And so, he was making so little money that my paycheck was like 3 or 4 times more than his. So it was just, yeah.
Okay. So give me a real timeline then, Sammy. On October of 13, he quit his job. You were double diamond. When did you go triple? And when did you go prez? And then, of course, you just went ambassador a couple months ago. So what did that look like for you? What made you keep pushing?
Okay. So actually, the month after I hit double, I lost it. And that was so scary because he just quit his job. So I lost double diamond. And it was very scary. And I mean, everything looked great. Like I didn't push anything, like it was great. And I had no reason to think I wasn't going to maintain it, but I didn't. And I remember for like a day, I cried. I was mad. I questioned God. And the next day I got over it. And I just said, I'm going to get it back. I'm going to work really hard to get it back. And I have to say my paychecks were still amazing. They were way over the diamond. They weren't double, but they were way over diamond. So they were still amazing. We were still okay. But it was really disheartening. Again, you start to question yourself, that so many lies that you start to come through your head. Like you're not good enough. This business isn't lasting.
Did you have a good bonus with the double diamond?
I didn't get a double good bonus. So I didn't lose a bonus, but
I think that's something to highlight, because I feel like a lot of people, and this is just a safe place to share this, but like I have seen so many people that lose bonuses, and to them, it's the end of their business. Like, right. And so I feel like bonuses, they're amazing. And like, we got to strive for them when they're available, but don't limit yourself to a bonus. The bonus finishes paying out and it's done, but like the residual income of these promotions are what really are going to change your life lifelong. Like that's true beach money, is the residual income that continues to grow. So for those of you that are on and that are listening, like that don't have, maybe you've never had a bonus and you're feeling like left out, or maybe you've lost it. Like don't let that bonus define or handicap your success, because I feel like, that restoration is going to come. If you feel like that was truly yours, like it'll come in a more substantial way and a solid way. It's bittersweet about these bonuses. They're amazing, but I think so many people sometimes even push for them when they shouldn't have pushed for a promotion, and vice versa, maybe not, and then quit like when they lose it, so. Right. I just wanted to add that, because
that's great. I'm loving that you said that, because it's so defeating when people go to a certain position and they lose that rank. It's almost more defeating than getting there in the first place, not getting there in the first place. I love that you said that too, because for me, I always say to people, like, we never have these bonus opportunities. You can make a $10,000 diamond bonus in a month. Like, why put it out over 25 months at $400 a month? Like, it's a drop in the bucket to what you can actually make with this company. So do not let that defeat you. I love that you said that.
So good.
And I love that you're sharing, Sammy, that you lost your bonus and you lost your rank, because I think, let's get real here. Everything's not rainbows and unicorns, and things like that do happen. And so at what point did you think, okay, I'm glad that you said you cried about it, because I think we do have to take a minute, and I think we do have to mourn that, but we can't get stuck there. Because if we get stuck there, then what happens is we really kill our business, right? So you mourn about it for a day and you went on, right?
Yeah. I kind of gave myself a day to just complain and be mad, and then I put my big girl panties back on, and then I just kept going, because that's what you have to do. Like, we're just going to keep going. And so we worked hard, and there would be times where I was discouraged, but I faked it. Like, I faked that I was excited. I did not go share with the world that I lost my rank. I didn't do that because I knew I was going to get it back. So I just worked really hard. It took a couple months, and I got it back, and then I never lost it again. So
I'm
it
going
was
to
just,
try and show you something if you can see it. Can you see that up there? It says fake it till you make it. Can you see
I
that?
love that.
My life. Like, I feel like I never know what I'm doing. And you know what? We'll just get there. We'll figure it out along the way.
But it's so true. And it's just like when we see, our team, like, I think it's important to look at patterns and things in our team because we can easily fall into that. But like we see it in our own team, like when people stop posting and a day turns into a week and then a week turns into 2 weeks. And before you know it, it is really hard to reel them back in. Like we are no different. Just because you're diamond or double diamond or triple or even ambassador, like the same thing will happen to you because the enemy comes to like, steal those dreams and he's going to use it by like, okay, she took a day off, maybe a week and now it's turning into a couple weeks. And before you know it, you're wondering like, maybe this isn't for me. And it's like Sammy shared, God is not the author of confusion. So if he put this business on your heart, you've got to steward it. You've got to it doesn't mean that setbacks aren't going to happen. It just means that what is he like? I love, my husband's always telling me like, stop questioning why, question what, like, okay, God, what do you want me to learn from this? Like, there's no wondering why did I go through this? Why me? Like, don't even do that. You'll torture yourself. Like, what am I supposed to learn from this? And like, how do I get back up and move forward? Because your test will be a testimony for somebody else on your team that might not even be on your business yet. That might be your next ambassador. Like,
I love that. So don't ask why, ask what, because everything that we go through in life is to teach us something, right? Whether that be like we feel like it was us, that we suck, we're not good enough, we lost our rank, so maybe this business isn't for us. Well, all those things happen in our life so that we can be a testimony for somebody else. I love that you said that, Katie. That's awesome. Okay, so share with us a little bit. I know your sister got you on board, and you guys are super successful sisters, but wasn't always that way, right? So I know Sammy was sharing a little bit about that. So we want to hear a little bit from you, Candy, about your journey along the way.
So I joined Sammy that month that she went diamond. Right before. I joined the last week of July and she went diamond in August. And it did take me seeing her emerald paycheck, because I really these type of businesses, network marketing businesses were so scary to me. And I just really found it hard to believe that real people made money. Like I remember, because you were our ambassador to Upline, like I remember like, there's no way, like maybe just people like Lori up north, like make this kind of money. Like we just didn't think that it was real, like it was just like, these people don't make this kind of money. And so, like right half of the income chart was not real to me. But when Sammy showed me her emerald paycheck, it was like $967 or $987. I still remember, challenging her. And I'm like, well, like she said she had just gone. I'm like, no way. Like, let me see your paycheck, which is so rude. Like, that is so rude. I feel so bad that I did that to me. But anyways, you showed it to me and it worked. And I ended up, signing up and, it was very humbling because what pushed me to go on board is that I had a friend that was a nurse practitioner that was getting ready to sign up to help Sammy because Sammy said she needed one more distributor for a rank and she was not scared to tell people that like, I need one more spot, to move to this promotion. And my friend Natalia was going to sign up to do this with her to help her. And here I am, her sister, and I hadn't even done that. So it really was what pushed me to do it. But I did work this business like a business from day one. Like I started posting and when I saw that people started messaging me and, it really was what encouraged me. Like this really works. This posting deal really works. But I grew a majority because I went diamond in 3 months. So the month that she went double, I went diamond in October. And back then to get the good bonus, you had to promote diamond in 3 months. It wasn't like whenever you promote, you had to, from the date you signed up, you had to go diamond in 3 months to get the good bonus. And so in September, I remember I had gone emerald and I just remember like, okay, it's one rank away. Like I've got to do this. It's just got to happen. Like, and so we made it happen, but I did a lot of mine belly to belly. So I think one thing I wanted to share that was on my heart, because I feel like over the last year and a half, I feel like the leaders that are incredible leaders, but that have been put on a pedestal are all like the ones who grow strictly on social media. And I feel like it's handicapped a lot of people who that might like, you feel like, oh my gosh, I must suck that I can't like do this. Like I'm doing what she told me to do and nobody's messaging me back. Well, what really is handicapping you is by like limiting that's the only way to grow. Because back then, social media is amazing and it's great. Like Sammy just shared, she grew 90% of her business. Like I've grown big portion of my business. But if you want to grow fast and you want to promote fast, I feel like belly to belly is just an amazing way. And if you haven't done wrap parties, if you don't blitz, if you don't wrap people on the spot, then you're missing out on a real way to grow your business. And honestly, I feel like, and not that there's one way better than everybody is, your business is your business. So wherever you feel, your strong suit is, whatever doesn't feel like work, whatever feels easier and more natural to you is your business. Maybe it's events, but for me, I felt like the connecting, I felt like one of my giftings is, connecting with people and relating to them and just lifting people up. And so for me, being in person, I felt like there was more of a loyalty, working with people, they saw that I was genuinely ready to help them. I was hosting their launch parties. We were getting people signed up right away. And one thing I'll share is if you don't encourage your team or your newbies to host their launch party within their first 10 days, however that looks, maybe it is online because they're out of town. Maybe you're doing a Facebook launch party, but I feel like that launch party is so critical because people sign up so early on. That first 30 days really make or break in this business as far as momentum goes. If you have momentum and you're excited, people feel that and it'll attract people to your business. And that right there is going to be something that really helps, grow. And so that's one thing that really, really helped me. And I went diamond and I felt like so many people who were watching, just like maybe some of you guys went diamond and above and people finally started joining on board. But then came the haters, and so, I'm pretty sure every person who is here that is diamond and above has had some form of discouragement and some form of, somebody saying that you're not going to make it. And it hurts because sometimes it comes in the form of our spouse or our parents or our family or our best friend. And, it's at that point that the enemy will sometimes come and work, not, through people, even through people who love God, he'll still come and work and try to discourage you, but you've got to be, confident that what you're doing is for something so much bigger, and he will refine the people that are meant to be in your business and that are meant to be in your life. It's hard. I mean, I've had my fair share of friends that have never once congratulated me. They were with me when I lost my job. They were with me when we were paying minimum to all of our debt that I had to trade in my car. We were lowering our cell phone bill. When I lost my job, my background's a little different. I was in a corporate background. I worked on my way up to almost a 6-figure income. And my husband's a full-time realtor and we had just come out of a recession. So they knew the challenging time. And I'm sorry, but people who can't cheer you on, and being a supporter doesn't mean they have to sign up as a customer or distributor. I'm just saying a supporter as in go that's challenging, what you're doing. I could, even if they had to humble themselves and say, I could never do what you're doing, but I'm proud of you. That goes a long way. But there are some people who will never say that and they'll talk behind your back. And what's even harder is when some of those people are even on your team. And I do want to bring that up because you're going to have people as you grow in this business. I can say I get along with 99% of the population. I have a pretty flexible personality. There's still people who don't like me, on my team, and who will say things about me behind my back, but I know why I'm doing this. And I know we're crunched for time, but I wanted to also share why you need to set boundaries in your business. And you make it a rule and it's your business and you can make that a rule. In my team, there is an anti gossip rule. There is none of that. Somebody's going to come to me with, oh, so-and-so said this and that. I am not going to feed into it and be like, oh my goodness. And I don't want to, make that sound it's not being very personable, but what's the solution? Okay, so how are we going to fix this girl? Right. Did you talk to her about it? Be quick to go to the solution, because those are things that will also weigh your business down and weigh you down in your spirit as you feel oh my gosh, there's just so much drama on my team. Typically, if there's a lot of drama on your team, then it's because you've invited it. You've let it happen. So you've got to kind of just draw the line. This is, a non-negotiable, if you want to be part of this, and we're going to be solution focused. And so, oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say something.
No,
but
I completely agree with you. I've never been a drama, and if people come to me with drama, I always bring them back to the person. Don't come to me with that. Go to them with that. and not the in-between. And I
But
love
those
that does take the focus away from what we're really trying to do here.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, there's just always going to be some kind of curveballs coming your way that are going to keep you from where you're supposed to be. And so you've already got to be focused on that. Like, wherever you're at right now, maybe you're diamond, maybe you've lost diamond, maybe you've been stuck at a rank for, you know, a year or a year and a half. Like, you've got to keep those blinders on, stay focused, and stay around the fire. Like what Lori was saying, you know, follow people. If you don't have any sidelines or upline that you have a connection with, then you need to find somebody, you know, another leader that has a similar testimony that you can start following and watching their YouTube videos. You know, back when we started, like when Sammy and I started and Rachel, we were all new. Like Rachel signed Sammy up a month later, Sammy signed me 6 months later. So we didn't have a ton of upline to like personally connect with. And so for me, it was a lot of following leaders that inspired me. I was up late watching YouTube videos. I remember watching like Cami Dempsey sample parties, how to throw a wrap up party pad. And I think, you know, now because this product is becoming more of a household name, people, you know, we start to feel responsible when somebody says, oh, I just don't feel comfortable doing a wrap party. Like, you have to see them for who they are, not who they see themselves for who they are. And the way I see people is like, they're a leader. And even if they're brand new, I'm going to see them and equip them to see that too. So like, you know, if they haven't ever done a wrap party and they're scared, they're out of town and like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, no, don't feed into that. Like, you can do this. Like, I did it, you know? So give them the tools and the resources. But, you know, I think that a lot of the things, you know, for sure why I'm here where I'm at is because I had to stay close to that fire in other leaders, because there was that some of that hate going on, like in people that I loved and that I cared for. So it was, you know, just staying focused on why I was doing this and really believing that, fake it till you make it, believing that you can do it, even if on paper you don't know how. Like, it's just like why not me? You know, this person's doing it. There's no molds. There's no cookie cutter personality that can be successful in this. And you're seeing this here between even Samantha and I, like two totally different personalities, both Ambassador Diamond. Like, that's amazing that you can really believe in anyone who signs up with you in this business, and believe it, as long as they have a will to do it and they have grit and willing to, you know, do the work. Like, you know, one thing that I share with people is that this business is not easy, but it is simple. So if you stay focused on the simple and not like, you know, the tough work, you already accept like the tough work has got to go in. Like, there are going to be days that you're tired. And, you know, another thing I wanted to share, like just in this comfort zone, is how many times I've questioned myself as a mother, because I know that if you've made it to Diamond, there's been times you've had to sacrifice away from your kids. Maybe they've been watching more TV than they should have, but you're on the right track, and know that it's just for a season. Like, you're not going to be where you're at, you know, forever, as far as, you know, the where you're pushing to the next level. Like, it's going to have a season of, you know, of sacrifice. And to me, it's not really sacrifice, it's investment.
Absolutely. It's just a phase. And I look at that. We with church yesterday, and he talked about the phases of life, you know, and you go through struggles in life, but it's just a phase. And you have to ask yourself, what is this teaching me? I love that you said that, Candice, because the reality is, we cannot promise you problem free. You know, your life is never going to be problem free. But Mark Pentecost says he can help you become debt free. And so how long are you willing to push, and honestly push? I think so many times that we think that we're working this business when we're really not. So you have to ask yourself, what am I doing every day to create a better life for myself for tomorrow? What are we doing today? Not are we doing tomorrow? What are your plans today? What are you doing today to create that better tomorrow? I know the struggles that you've had along the way. I know the successes that you've had along the way. And I think so many times, both Sammy and Candy, from the outside looking in, everything looks perfect. So if you could just give me, like, literally, like in the next 15 to 20 seconds, maybe, like, what's one tip that everybody can go away with today to say, you know what, I want to be Ambassador Diamond and I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. How do I do what you've done? What is one thing that you can say, Sammy, to everybody to say, this is what you do, and you do this, and you will get there?
I think the biggest thing for me is to treat this as a gift from God that you have that's going to change your life and change the lives of people around you. Like, this business and these products are such a blessing. They're such a blessing. And if you keep it away from people, if you're not telling people about it, the thing that they've been crying out for and praying for, they're not going to have it. You carry an answer to somebody's prayer. So don't be afraid to talk to people and share with people.
I love that. It is a blessing, a true blessing. All right, Candy, what would you say?
I would say run with your runners. I think where I see a lot of people wasting time in their business is running with people that don't want it. And you can still love them from afar, but you've got to get out there and find people that want this. And I know for a fact, like, you know, many of you that are on my team that are on this, like, I have been blessed to run with you. And that is why I am where I am, because of you guys. But, you know, there's so many people that I have like helped me, that I not wasted time, but focus on, and it brought me down, and it started making me question myself and my business when I was focusing on people that didn't want this. And so go back to the people that want this and that are passionate. And if they're not on your team yet, then go and find them.
I love that. Even if it's a very few, because it takes 2 to go diamond, it only takes a few more to go double and then triple, and 5 really to go ambassador. So yes. I love you girls. Thank you so much for giving us your time and pouring into us this morning. I really, truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.